All right, ladies and gentlemen, once again, I am right here in the building. And of course, you know what we always do whenever we come around. I got somebody y'all love to love. And of course, I call him Maximus. What do you call yourself, my brother? How you doing?
I'm good. It's so good to see you. It's been a long time.
Yes. When I was in America, I couldn't see you. What happened, man?
I should be asking you that. What happened? What the hell happened?
The America, why I call me no jelly. That was a really good one for me, man. Because, you know, I came to America and I forgot who I was entirely, you know. I started doing something else instead of doing media. But thank God I am back, though. So how are you doing, Maximus? How is coronavirus treating you in America?
Man, coronavirus, this has locked down everyone. And, you know, we didn't see it coming. No one saw it coming.
Yeah.
And the next thing was, you know, the lockdown. Everybody is asked to stay at home. And I mean, I live in Texas. I live in Houston, Texas. It's not as bad. It's not as bad here. It's bad enough. I mean, when I say it's not as bad, it's worse than Nigeria because, like last week when I checked the stats, Houston was over 2,000 cases.
Okay.
But the number of deaths are low. They're like 16. I mean, when you compare it to New York, that's like a joke. When you compare it to places like New York, that's nothing. But Houston is just one city in Texas. So there are places that are worse, that are feeling it, you know, more than Houston. But Houston is bad. It's not as bad compared to other places, but it's bad enough. Most places are closed down. Only essential services like hospitals, maybe fire departments, maybe grocery stores, so people can, you know, go in and buy stuff they need.
Okay.
But most people are at home. If you are a school kid, even I am taking classes. I'm going to school. So people, schools and institutions moved classes online.
Okay.
I have a younger brother who's doing his master's degree in New York. Right now he's in Nigeria. He went back to Nigeria because he said he didn't want to stay here in the country. But he's able to do his school stuff from Nigeria because everything has been moved online. So really, if things are still going on, if you're in school and if you're in certain kind of profession, like people who are working in a corporate environment where they're able to use softwares, they're able to work from their homes, you know.
Yeah.
But if you're in the health, things like if you're in a hospital, like a nurse or something, I mean, you can't work from home, you have to go to work. Like I work in a hospital, so I still go to work. It's like my normal routine is still going on, apart from the school part where I have to do my classes online. So I still go to work. I mean, everybody's afraid, but we have to do what we have to do. Well, the best we can do is protect ourselves. The social distancing thing, wear your face masks. I mean, and then also what we do. You said what?
Wash your hand always.
Wash your hands, sanitize. I mean, the thing is, like, you never know because there are people who are asymptomatic, like people who are not showing symptoms.
Yes.
So you don't even know who has it and who doesn't have it. And then, like at my own place of work, what they do is every day you come in, you are made to fill out a form that you haven't left the United States, you know, in the last 2 weeks, and then they check your temperature and stuff like that to just for you to get in before you clock in to go into the main building to work. So I mean that can only go along. I can only go to an extent. It can't really rule out everything. So, but I think organizations are doing what they can. Just like, you know, we know, like people are not. It's not like testing is the of the virus. It's not like we have enough of it. But I mean, we still have much more than developing countries like Nigeria. But so I mean, that's how it is for me. So I go out, things like normal routine, like, you know, I don't go to the gym. I used to go to work out like every other day. we don't go anymore because all the gyms are locked up. Yeah. I even had to go because, you know, like most people have their accounts. So, but I had to call the bank to deactivate it, or else it would be going. It would be, you know, they'll be debiting my account. So, yeah. So I had to do that. So the best I can do every day is probably twice in a week or 3 times in a week when I feel like that. Best. That's the most social thing you can do right now. You can't really leave your house to go to anybody's house because the person you want to go to his house probably doesn't want you. You know?
Yeah, definitely.
You know, so
if you be the one way carry the kuru.
I know, right? I know.
Yeah, man.
So
okay, so you've been away from Nigeria for a while. How many years have you been abroad right now?
It's getting to 4 years.
It's getting to 4 years. So can you tell me the major difference? Like, what is the major difference you are actually witnessing, you know, when you were in Nigeria and now that you're in America? What is the difference?
This is kind of tough. Okay, so
your network is disturbing a bit, Maximus.
More holistic, like in terms of, I am no longer shackled by, you know, cultural stereotypes and, you know, just not just the way, you know, the way we look at things and analyze things based on where we come from. Yeah. So now I have to think before I say something, even in a public place or just where I'm having conversation with other people. I have to be mindful of, am I going to offend an Asian, for instance, or am I going to offend Black American, an African American, or, you know, I mean, they say America is a land of political correctness. So it's like, you know, just the way we Nigerians, we pride ourselves as we say things the way they come to us, but you can't say things the way they come to you here. It's like you have to filter.
Okay.
You really have to.
We're losing you a little bit. You don't
want to offend anyone. You really are trying to be.
Can you hear me, Maximus? Hello? We're losing you, Maximus. We're losing you. I lost you, Maximus. I lost you.
Okay. Yeah, I noticed.
All right. Are you back? Are you okay right now?
Yeah, I can see you clearly.
All right. So continue. You were actually saying something before you went off.
Oh yeah, I was saying that, you know, like I am more considerate in accommodating other people's views, you know, based off of where they come from. You know, things like, you know, the way we look at, let me use something like issue of patriarchy and feminism, which this is something like that. For instance, you know, the way, believe it or not, where we come from, it's patriarchal. We say men are everything, you know, a male child is everything. I mean, women belong to the kitchen and the other room, you know, you know what I mean. But now you have to be careful because here, everybody, the way professionals are, you have male professionals and female professionals. Your boss might be a female, you know, and it's an equal society. It's a society that gives the male as much opportunities as the female. So, and then you can't come in a professional, in any place, you know, for that matter, and just say anything that might even be perceived. You might not even mean it, but might even be remotely perceived as being discriminatory, gender discriminatory. You know, even if you are tempted to say something like that based off of your own cultural conditioning, you have to unlearn those things.
Okay, now let me ask you a question. Have you actually gotten into such have you ever gotten into such things where you said things and later you regretted it? Because it happened to me in America, and of course,
I know.
So I would actually want to ask you: did you ever get into something like that?
I do. I'm sure. It's just okay. So the thing is, I have a lot of people around me who are Nigerian American,
Okay.
like they're Nigerians, but they are born here, so they are very American. So they saved me from publicly embarrassing myself. I mean, initially when I first came, there were things like, the way we say, you can just come and say, you people.
Yeah.
You people did this, for instance. Or and then I remember at the time my fiance was like, no, you can't say that. That's you can't say that in America. If you say you people, they say which people. Like, which people? Are you saying you, or we black people, or we, that sort of thing. So it's more like you really have to censor your language, and like try to be sure, because like there are lots of things like racism is a big issue in America. Everybody's just like, people are always very careful. I even say, like, you guys are always too. I didn't even mean it like that. Like, that's not how I'm. You guys are too sensitive.
That is not how Nigerians are wired.
Exactly. Like, what can't I say things the way okay, what can I say things the way I want to say them? Okay, let me give you an example. So this happened to me the first place I worked when I came to America. So it was so okay, you do know, like, our English in Nigeria is British English.
Yeah.
So it kind of comes off as very proper. It's too proper compared to American English is kind of informal.
Okay.
So sometimes when a Nigerian person is speaking English, like a Nigerian person is speaking English the way we are taught, it comes off as you're being a little bit snobbish, or you're trying to act like you're better than everybody else.
Exactly.
That's the thing. But I'm like, that is the way we speak. Like, it's, especially if it's a Nigerian who is very proud and comfortable in the way they speak. You understand what I'm saying? Who is not trying to sound American or something like that. So I know that there was. So I was working at that place, and then there were some things I would just say, some words I would say. They would be like, Maximus, you come off as arrogant sometimes. I'm like, how did I, like, you just sound too, you just think you can just come over. Initially, they were even asking me whether I spent a lot of time in London. Do you understand what I'm saying? I told them, no, that's just the way proper Nigerian English sounds. It sounds close to, so they're like, you come here, probably you went to a private school or something like that. I'm like, no, that's just the way we speak. If you see a Nigerian speaking proper Nigerian English, it sounds close to, British English. So, things like that. It's the word choice, the choice of words that you're using. You're sounding too proper and too scholarly. So but I don't know how to tone it down. It took me a while. It just took me a while, because people who understood that, okay, these guys, this is how they speak, and then if you're now a louder kind of Nigerian who is not afraid to speak up and say their mind, and you're also perceived as aggressive.
Yeah, I think that was what I was perceived as. A lot of people thought, dude, you are actually not from here. the way you behave is
right.
just way off it. And you know,
Yeah.
I couldn't understand why they were like that until after a
Mm-hmm.
while. I think when I got back to Nigeria, I started playing back some of the things that happened in America. And I was like,
Oh, yeah.
maybe these guys were thinking I was the kind of, you know, proud or something.
Proud,
But
yeah,
that wasn't
right.
who I was, you know?
But you also know that, so as I'm saying that, I'm kind of feeling, so America also makes you feel a little bit guilty, especially if you're not from America. So what I'm about to say now, is, I feel a little bit, I shouldn't feel guilty, but I feel a little bit guilty because America has told me it's wrong for me to,
yeah.
to say that, because we are Black people, like, of course, Africans are, well, like, we are Black skin. So the way America has conditioned African Americans to be the way they are perceived is not the way a typical African immigrant is.
Yeah.
An African immigrant who's coming from Africa to America does not carry himself the way African Americans carry themselves.
Yeah.
They probably have degrees already, probably have college degrees, and probably have held professional jobs from their countries, and then coming over here. It's like coming over here, it's like you're starting all over again. You're trying to get into a new system. So they don't
that's
know
entirely
you.
true, man.
Right, they don't know you. And so you still carry that air of importance, like that air of, it's not an air of importance, it's an air of knowing who you are and where you come from.
Exactly.
It's not something you're putting up. It's something, I mean, Fado, like when you come over here, you have been in the media for a long time, held positions, you were a programs director and stuff like that. Then you come over here and, maybe in your first year, you're just trying to do whatever to get by. And then you are made to work with people who are like 25 years old.
Exactly.
Even though you're gonna do it, there will always be that part of you that will be like, look at this small boy. So whether you know it or not, you carry yourself like that.
Yeah.
That's why they think that we're being. But I told them, when I was having an argument with one dude like that, I told him, like, these guys you're seeing here at the hospital, I said, this one here is a medical doctor. This one here is a medical doctor. They're only waiting to pass their board exams in the US. That's what they are waiting for. In Nigeria, you wouldn't stand in their shadows. I said, do not make any mistake. Don't think that in Nigeria you're not even worthy to carry their sandals. If do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes,
so yes, and I get it. Like, you're now in a new country and you're now trying to, so you're supposed to still be humble or whatever. Some of them haven't left the US before. Some of them do not even know anything about what.
I know.
You understand what I'm saying? So,
man.
Yeah, so let's just not think. Not all of them are exposed or educated or stuff like that. So there are some, just like we have ignorant people in Nigeria, there are ignorant people here as well.
I think there are a lot of ignorant people in America, if you ask me, because that's what I actually know.
Are you listening? Are you there? Yeah, so I would, whenever I get a chance to tell anybody who cares to listen, I tell them that, like, just the same way we have millennials here who have access to the internet and stuff like that, people who are in Nigeria and other parts of Africa who haven't left those places, but they know a lot about things happening in America and Europe and stuff, and they're probably more enlightened than you. In certain areas. The only thing you are probably experiencing those things firsthand because you live here. And just the same way you are not going to come and tell me something about Nigeria when you're not from Nigeria. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I will feel offended when you come and tell me things about Nigeria I know that are not true. That things that you just know based off of what your media is telling you. Exactly. The American or Western media is telling you. So you're not going to tell me. You're not going to tell me about Nigeria more than, or tell me based, from your own American lens. No, exactly. So you should listen to me when I tell you.
Yes.
Exactly. When people are talking about Africa, listen to me. So we're not, whatever you think that we are, that's just like a percentage, a tiny percent. That's not all that we are.
Yes.
I mean, which is why I'm very excited about, things like Netflix, for instance, which is showing a lot of African stories and Nigerian stories and African stories generally. The media, the filmmakers, songwriters, art, basically African art is coming up globally, and so these are the tools that we can use to share our story, the positive stories, because Africa is not just about war and poverty and hunger. There are also beautiful parts. There are also things that are beautiful that you would see in Africa, So that's why like I'm excited when I watch. There's this show on Netflix I was watching the other day, Castle and Castle. It's a legal fiction by this lady Mo Abudu or Ebony Life TV.
Okay.
So she has that thing, and anybody can watch it, and anybody from any part of the world can watch it and be entertained. Yeah. But it's a Nigerian production. So, and then there's also the other one, South African production that is also there. Like, so those are good things that, good platforms that we can use to, tell positive stories. I mean, if African leaders are doing everything right, if we didn't have corruption and the system was working, 70% of people living outside Africa wouldn't prefer to live outside Africa.
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah. So,
all right. So I want to ask you some questions. Yeah, you are now working in the hospital, but you were a radio presenter before. So, how does it feel? How has been the transition from being a radio presenter and all of a sudden you're working in the hospital? How does it feel?
Okay. So first of all, okay. Before I started working on radio, my bachelor's was in microbiology.
Yeah.
So, when I came to do my auditions with Hot FM, I was already working on my master's degree on in public health at Futo.
Okay.
I was doing that master's in public health. I was just trying to transition into the health sector.
Okay.
Then there was that strike, and I've always loved the media. I feel like it's one of those things.
Yeah.
I feel like if I go back, if I come again, I'll probably do something. If I were to go back to secondary school and choose a career all over, I would do something either in law or the media. Okay. Probably do law and practice media, something like that. So I wouldn't, so I even though I'm trained in the sciences, I have a kind of natural sync for the arts somehow.
Yeah.
I love the art. So, and then when the opportunity came to audition for Hot FM, I took it and I came to audition. I didn't know I was going to get the job, but I tried for it. And so I was keeping my options open. And then at the time when I eventually left for the US, I had finished my master's degree, and I kind of felt I needed a bigger place to thrive, something like that. So I felt like my journey, I was thinking either leaving Owerri and moving to Abuja or coming to the US. Those were the two things. Because I felt like I had got to a point I needed to do something. I needed to do something else. My heart, but my experience with radio kind of changed me forever.
Yeah.
I was talking about it with someone yesterday. I said, Hot FM gave me a platform. Like, it gave me a platform that changed me forever up till today. Like, there are things I'm able to do. There are, even at my place of work now, my interactions with people, there are things that they see and they comment, and I think it was just something that happened while I was working in the media.
Okay.
Yeah, while I was working in the media, there were things there were traits I was able to cultivate and grow. So I'm one person who I leave my options open.
Yeah.
I don't think that, like, I feel like at every turn in life you should be very dynamic, and you should leave your options open. So right now I'm trying to I'm working on the health, because I mean everybody knows the health industry thrives here. It's one of those places, it's one of those industry sectors in the US that there is no discrimination. There will always be a job. You know, there will always be job security. So you see a lot of people come here and then they just switch, you know. So, but I still have that flair for communication and media. I know that somehow I'm still gonna go back to it. I've been flirting with the idea of vlogging for a while. It's just a question of time and the technology. You know, probably have to make out time and learn about it. So I'm very open. Like when you called me and said you wanted to have an interview, I mean, I still crave this sort of thing, because I feel it's an outlet for my expression, for me to express myself. It's not something I will get here, unless I feel like at some point I'm going to have to go into research and probably teaching or something like that, medical research, like, you know, so. And stuff. So things that will let me be able to express myself and probably teach people, you know, lecture and stuff, maybe travel around and give go to conferences, speak at conferences and stuff like that. So there's the part of me that still loves to be heard, to express myself. That's going to be a part of me always. So I know that, you know, things happen. One opportunity come. One opportunity, I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it. Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you this question now. If you were not a presenter or you were not doing medicals, what other job do you think you should be doing?
I'll probably be writing for TV or acting.
Okay. Why would you do that?
First of all, because I have a very, very I think I have a very, very creative mind. Okay. I have a creative mind, and I have a very wild imagination.
Okay.
And so when I'm listening to TV, which was when I'm watching TV or I'm listening to a radio program, which was happening even before I came on radio.
Yeah.
The way people watch TV is not the same way I watch TV. I'm analyzing. I'm like, oh, they should have done this like this, something like that. Just like when I'm watching a film, I'm seeing a film. Yeah. I'm like, that line should have been written like that or something like that. So I feel like, I just say maybe I could have been. It's not like I'm not sure I would have made it perfect, but I feel like if I was trained a little bit, or if I put my interest a little bit there, I'll probably be good. I mean, who knows?
All right. Yeah. So what's up about your music part? Have you given it up entirely, or are you still, doing that music?
I haven't that part. I haven't done anything on music in the last 3 years since I came here. I haven't done anything.
Yeah.
Nothing. Yeah. It's not even something I'm thinking about at all. I'm thinking about the media more than music, honestly.
So what do we now call it? Was it an opportunity that presented itself in Nigeria, or was it really something that you wanted to do?
The music thing?
Yeah, the music thing.
No, music for me then was never something I wanted to do professionally. It was a church thing.
Okay, a church thing. Okay.
It's just like what do you call it? There are actors who sing very well. but they will tell you that they will never, they don't want to pursue a career. It's just an outlet for them to express themselves. So probably they do that in church. You know, like Banky W, for instance, is a badass worship singer.
Okay.
Like in his church,
Yeah.
But you will not see him doing rap like him. Someone like YJ, for instance, you know, these are worship leaders in their church. The only people who get to see that part of them are people who worship in their church. And that's not what I'm saying. So, but they won't say, oh, I'm not going to go and do gospel music. You can't do everything. Like you really, like, you understand what I'm saying? Like,
I get you.
Maybe if the opportunity comes, you probably do it. And just like, what's this girl's name? Chidinma Ekile. Chidinma Ekile has done a few gospel stuff, but you're not going to call her a gospel singer. Yeah. I mean, the fact that she did gospel, it's just like we are human beings. There are different aspects to us. Nobody can put a human being in one box and say this is what. So people should be allowed to express it different without saying, okay, this is the label we're going to put on you. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it doesn't. Chidinma was able to do a song with some gospel artists. It doesn't mean that tomorrow's going to be. Oh, I'm going to go gospel. Yeah. It means that there's still a part of her that acknowledges that there is a God, and I love God. You know. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? She's a total human being. Yeah. You know. Yeah. So that's just what it is.
All right. So tell us, if you have an opportunity to come back to Nigeria, tell us, what will you do different? What would be the different thing that we're going to see about Maximus and Fado?
If I come back to Nigeria, actually, let me not even use the word if, because even though I live here, my heart is in Nigeria. Okay. I'm telling you, my heart is in Nigeria. I hope that when I come back to Nigeria, I will have enough that Nigeria would be, because really, the thing about Nigeria now is like, everybody says, oh, I'm going to go back to Nigeria and start up a business, but no business thrives in a place that is very, that is unstable and volatile. Yeah. So I feel like, the institutions should be able to, like government institutions, should be able to provide security. Like you shouldn't think of coming back and worrying that you're going to be kidnapped or somebody's going to steal your money or something like that. You should be able to come back home, and if you're spending 2 months, you spend 2 months in peace and not worry that somebody's going to carry you, that sort of thing. So I am hoping that, we'll get to that point where Nigeria will be better in terms of security and structures. Yeah. And then, like I said, my mind is still in the media. I want to have something that's the kind of thing this lady has, Noah Budu has, Ebony Live TV. I feel like we're not telling our stories enough. I feel like we should have like that original African platform where, and I know that, I've built, the few years I put in the media, I built contacts, people like you, like other people I know as well. Like if we come together and brainstorm, we're able to do something that is like top notch, world class. It's originally Nigerian, but anybody would be able to see it and be entertained and love it. So it's a money matter, Sha. It's a money matter.
I think you should start thinking about that part, because if you actually think of that part and you have a way that you want to do something, call me up. I will always.
I will, definitely.
Okay, definitely. So now tell us, if you are actually going to come back to Nigeria and they're going to give you a government post, all right? Tell me, what will you change about Imo State? Let's take Imo State, for example. What will you change?
Oh, I feel like Imo State, I don't know. I think Imo State it's not one of those states that has something that, they're selling. For instance, like you think about Abia, you think about business and clothes making and stuff. You think about Onisha, think about commerce and stuff like that. You think about Imo State, you just think about civil servants and teachers and stuff. I mean, there's really not much that we are getting in, So if I were to be in government, I'm not it's not something I'm aspiring to, but I mean, if it happens, I think the government, if I'm part of that government, I would encourage that we create wealth. Maybe think about agriculture or something. I mean, look at things like Ada Palm, for instance, poultry industry. I mean, there are those small industries that, you know, they were just there, but they went moribund, you know, because the government wasn't looking into them. I mean, if you look at states like Lagos is self-sufficient. It's good enough to stand on its own, you know. And, you know, we don't have that in Imo State. I don't know why. I don't know whether it's because, I mean, Onitsha doesn't have, Anambra doesn't have oil.
Yeah.
So the only thing everybody is focused on in Nigeria is the petroleum.
All right.
You know. So, I mean, but we can still thrive. States can thrive without having petroleum. We have to harness other parts of the economy, other aspects of the economy, and make money, you know. And then, I mean, and Imo is small. Imo is not that large. So, if enough effort is put in, it can actually be turned into a model state.
All right. So, tell me something. I didn't ask you this question. I should have asked you initially, because you need to tell us where you are from. Okay, which schools did you attend? And of course, tell us everything concerning that area. Oh, yeah. The floor is open.
Okay, so my name is Maximus Abebu.
Okay.
So I'm from Abombise, in Imo State.
Okay.
In Abombise, I'm from Nguru. Nguru is a community. Yeah, so in Nguru, I'm from Umuoda. Okay. Umuoda, Nguru, Abombise, Imo State. I mean, yeah, Nguru, Umuoda is the smallest unit I can, and then I'm in Umuoda. I'm from my Abebu family. So I don't know if you remember there's a former minister, Professor Fabiano Suji. He used to be a minister of education. He's my kinsman. He's like my uncle. So we're from the same village. Okay. Yeah. And I went to government secondary school Owerri. It's one of the premier schools in Southeast.
Which year of college will you be?
Yeah, so wait,
which year for college will you be?
2005. I finished in 2005.
I go flood you, eh? All right.
We have an auxiliary group in Houston, and it's very strong.
Yeah, very, very strong. Do you actually attend Auxian get together in Houston?
Yeah, I'm actually the secretary for the Houston branch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been the secretary for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
We have the strength of over 50 Auxians. Like Houston has a lot of Nigerians, so we have strength of over 50 people and counting. And then we have more people who don't even come, like the older. So you know, I know Houston had always had an Auxian association, but I think after a while they were not functioning. Okay. So this new one started like 3 years ago. It started with like guys who are still young, who are in their 40s and stuff. So there's an older generation, those who are in their 60s, who are not even, they don't attend that much. They only come for like when we have events. So we have like our annual summer party, which is like one of the biggest parties in Houston right now. Like every Nigerian wants to come. It's summer picnic. We call it summer picnic. It's like an outdoor event. You have the barbecue, music, and people come. So it's open to even people who are not Auxians. Like Auxians come with their wives and friends, and you know, like it's a huge party. Yeah. And then we have other things like we also have things like, you know, our end of the year, most people come to it as well, come for the event as well. And then, you know, it's a very supportive group. It's a very supportive unit. We you know, come out for members, you know, and you know Auxians now, like.
Come on. Of course, the branch in Texas is very strong. That was why I'm asking you. if you actually attended one in Houston. Because while I was in, I was in Texas too. I was in Texas.
Oh, you really? I didn't know.
Long time,
I didn't know.
yeah. And of course, the branch that were in Texas, but not Houston. What was the name of that city again?
Was it in Dallas? Was it in Dallas?
Dallas. To Dallas.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
yeah.
The Dallas branch is actually very tight. And we have a lot of audience that actually turn up for events. The last event together was marvelous, man. Marvelous.
No. Those guys, the party hard, so it's very, we have the Dallas group is there as well. They're also doing very well. I know that there are other groups like Maryland and stuff. So, but sometime like this year, before this coronavirus thing happened, we were planning to have like an event in collaboration with the Dallas. Was supposed to host them. So I mean, this lockdown kind of slowed things down, but we'll still get back to it.
So how is your collaboration with the Jumbo Babes?
Jumbo Babes, they have their own event too. They're also strong. So when we have parties, like end of the parties, we invite them, and then vice versa.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Because the collaboration has to be strong. It is it's in strong. Texas, Dallas. It is also like that in Nigeria, where I am right now. And of course,
right.
It's actually very nice. Maximus and Fado, it's been nice speaking with you. And of course, it's been nice catching up with you and, going back in time, asking those that needed to ask some other time. And of course, I wish that you will actually, once in a while, you call in so that we have this talk, all right? It's been
of course.
And of course, I'm sure that a lot of people will actually enjoy this interview. Thank you very much, Maximus.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me.
What is your last word for us in Nigeria right now?
Oh, well, at this time, I think everybody should be careful, not just those in Nigeria, but those in Nigeria need to be even more careful because what's the problem with Nigeria is Nigerians is that we don't want to. We like to just share myths and wrong information. Yeah. Right now, with this coronavirus thing happening, we need to listen to the experts, the professionals, the scientists, whatever they tell us to do. People should, stop sharing wrong information on social media platforms, and then we should be very mindful of our hygiene. And it's very important that the social distancing thing should be maintained, And then also the government should try to provide the palliative, stuff for Nigerians, because it's not enough to ask people to stay back in their homes. You should also ensure that they're being fed, because what I see here, what we have here is that we have access to grocery stores and stuff. So we're still able to feed, even though we are asked to stay back home. I don't know whether it's the same. I don't think it's the same in Nigeria.
It's not the same. Forget about palliatives, because if I begin to give you information about palliatives, you will start laughing. But
I know.
Growing, and I hope that we grow up to that very soon. All right. Thank you very much, Maximus. Sure.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right. Take care of yourself, man.
Bye. You too.